is the midpoint of line segment AD, and line segments AB and AD are perpendicular to each other, and line segments DC and AD are perpendicular to each other, and angles CBE and DCE are congruent to each other. We now have to prove that line segments AB and DC are congruent to each other. So the first thing we can say is AE and DE are congruent to each other, and the reason for that is the midpoint divides a segment into two congruent segments. We can also say that BAE is a right angle, and the reason for that is perpendicular lines form right angles. We can say the same thing for CDE. We can also say that CDE and BAE are congruent to each other, and the reason for that is all right angles are congruent. We can also say that BE and CE are congruent to each other, and the reason for that is in a triangle, sides opposite of congruent sides are congruent. We can say that BAE is a right angle, and the reason for that is the triangle contains a right angle. We can say the same thing for CDE. We now have enough information to say that these two triangles are congruent to each other. And the reason for that is hypotenuse leg. We now have enough information to prove that AB is congruent to DC. And the reason for that is because they are corresponding to each other. And there we go.